I'm Amy Cherry. This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, here to wow ya.
No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace!
Hundreds march in Bunnell for peace in the wake of the police killing of George Floyd in Minneapolis. It was one of several demonstrations happening across the country over the weekend. Local organizer Dwayne Jenkins.
Today, we march so that our children can see the police as trusted servants of the community that they were meant to be. Today, we march for all the victims of social injustice and equality. If there is no struggle, there is no progress. And that is the reason why we come together today. This is the reason why we have our pavement on the ground in solidarity. This is the reason why we march.
The crowd was full of people of all ages and races. Pastor Sims Jones with God's Love Ministry, who's running for a seat on Palm Coast City Council in District 1, says this march shows it's time to finally fight back against the social and economic injustices that African Americans have faced in this country for decades.
But it seems now with the age of video, people are actually seeing now what has been happening to black people and what's been happening to people in general. How the injustices have been not only from the police department, but also in general, systemic racism that has gone on in everything, in housing and jobs and, discrimination against women. All of that now is starting to come out.
Bunnell Mayor Kathleen Robinson attended the march and was pleased but not surprised it remained peaceful.
Bunnell is a peaceful place. We have a wonderful community here, and I think everyone here understands the difficulty, the violence, the racism, and all of that's got to stop, and it stops with us.
Bunnell Vice Mayor John Rogers called Floyd's killing tragic and senseless and says it's important for the community to come together.
Where there's unity, there's power. When there's lack of unity, there's lack of power, and we're going to show the community that there is unity here in the city of Bunnell.
The new superintendent of Flagler Schools is getting to work. John Arking checks in after her first week on the job.
Kathy Middlestat will officially take over for the retiring James Tager on June 30th, but has been in place since June 1st. Speaking with WNZF Friday, she said her style is one of facilitative leadership.
And by that I mean I want to engage key stakeholders in decision-making, listen to their input. I value that. I believe all of our community members have a voice. Most importantly, the students have a voice. Our teachers have a voice. All of our employees have a voice. So as we make decisions and we move things forward, there'll be opportunities for me to hear from each one of those stakeholders, because at the end of the day, we're collectively in this together to move the district to the next level of greatness.
Middlestat was most recently a deputy superintendent in St. Johns County, which she said gave her the freedom to prepare so that she could hit the ground running in Flagler County. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm John Arkin.
Hurricane season started last week. What's the difference about it this year than in years past?
Flagler County Emergency Manager Jonathan Lord says COVID-19.
COVID-19 makes a huge difference. We have made plans and obtained resources to make sure that we can protect folks in the shelters from COVID-19 should they decide to or need to seek shelter within one of our public shelters from the hurricane.
Lord said that while normally evacuees would have 20 square feet of space in the shelter, but since COVID-19, each will get about 60 square feet to be socially distant from other evacuees.
Our shelters will, in theory, fill up quicker, and which just means we'll open up additional shelters to make that happen, and that's a great partnership we have with the school district.
Lord said that you need to try to remember to bring your face mask to the shelter. If not, there will be some on hand. He said that if your area is ordered to evacuate because of a hurricane, you should follow those orders and leave. To listen to the interview with Jonathan Lord, download the Flagler radio app and then go to the Free for All Friday podcast. Tomorrow, new rules at evacuation centers. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
It was a graduation of a different variety for students at Flagler Technical Institute. Tony Magoo has the story.
With us this morning is Renee Stauffacher, director of the Flagler Technical Institute.
It is a public post-secondary technical college, and there are 48 around the state.
Who did you graduate on Friday?
We have people graduating from commercial vehicle truck driving, all of our health science programs, and early childhood education, cosmetology, GED students, as well as all of our career and technical education programs.
Now, what was so special about the graduation program last Friday?
Well, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we weren't able to have our traditional graduation ceremony.
How did the other schools handle it?
Many technical schools throughout the state canceled their graduation or moved it out, and our students felt it was important to go ahead and celebrate that. We felt it was important that they get a face-to-face type of graduation, and so we put together the drive-through idea, which has really worked out to be a fantastic event.
For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Tony Magoo.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Amy Cherry.